Good day, everyone. Today's session focuses on how to effectively identify and interpret compliance requirements within your job role and industry. This is essential for maintaining both legal and ethical integrity in your work, as well as aligning with organizational and industry expectations. We will cover statutory, legislative, regulatory, and ethical considerations, ensuring compliance is built into your daily work practices. Statutory, legislative, and regulatory requirements. Every job role is influenced by various statutory, legislative, and regulatory obligations. These are external rules imposed by government bodies and relevant authorities. It's important to understand how these laws apply to your specific industry and job role. Statutory requirements are legal obligations that your role must comply with by law. Examples include employment laws, workplace safety regulations, and environmental protection laws. Legislative requirements are laws passed by government bodies, such as Acts of Parliament. For example, in Australia, the Work Health and Safety Act, WH Act, regulates the safety standards for workplaces across industries. This act imposes duties on workers, employers, and contractors. Regulatory requirements refer to the rules enforced by government agencies or industry bodies. For instance, the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, ASIC, oversees financial reporting standards in the finance industry. Documenting compliance requirements. When identifying these compliance requirements, it's critical to document them thoroughly. This can be done by creating a compliance checklist or matrix that records specific laws and regulations, how these apply to your role, key deadlines or reporting requirements. Responsible personnel for compliance oversight. Make sure that these documents are updated regularly to reflect changes in legislation or industry standards. Organizational and industry requirements. In addition to legal requirements, organizations often have their own internal policies, procedures, and standards. Similarly, industries have accepted norms and practices to which employees must adhere. Organizational requirements include company policies on workplace behavior, safety standards, reporting procedures, and more. These policies align with statutory regulations but may be stricter in some areas. It's important to familiarize yourself with your company's code of conduct and operational guidelines. Industry requirements refer to standards and best practices recognized across your sector. These are often guided by professional bodies or industry associations. For example, in the construction industry, standards set by Standards Australia ensure that construction practices align with safety and quality benchmarks. Documenting industry and organizational requirements. Ensure that both industry and organizational requirements are well documented and easily accessible. The key is to have clear guidelines on how these requirements influence your daily tasks and job responsibilities. Once you've identified the necessary statutory, regulatory, organizational, and industry requirements, the next step is mapping them to your specific job role. Every role within an organization carries distinct responsibilities, so compliance obligations may vary between departments or positions. Position descriptions serve as a valuable tool for aligning compliance. For instance, if you are in a leadership position, your duties may involve ensuring that your team follows WHS requirements, monitors operational risks, and reports incidents. Your job description should reflect these compliance-related responsibilities. Work practices should also align with compliance obligations. Regularly assess whether your day-to-day activities uphold the necessary legal and organizational standards. If a gap exists, it's crucial to update your practices to stay compliant. Ethical considerations are a core aspect of compliance. While regulations provide legal boundaries, ethical behavior often goes beyond the letter of the law. It's essential to foster open discussions with relevant stakeholders, such as supervisors, compliance officers, and legal counsel, on ethical issues that may arise. Transparency in decision-making is crucial. Ethical concerns often relate to conflicts of interest, confidentiality, or fair treatment. Ensure that these are discussed with your team to avoid any grey areas. Stakeholder engagement includes consulting those who are directly affected by compliance decisions. This might include clients, employees, or external partners. These conversations help ensure that ethical standards are upheld across the board. In conclusion, Identifying and interpreting compliance requirements involves a thorough understanding of statutory, legislative, and regulatory obligations, as well as organizational and industry standards. Mapping these to your role and ensuring that your work practices are compliant is vital for maintaining the integrity of your operations. Always engage with stakeholders to discuss ethical considerations, as this helps build a culture of transparency and responsibility. By documenting these compliance requirements and regularly reviewing your practices, you can effectively manage compliance and ensure you are meeting both legal and ethical standards. Thank you for watching this video.